Okay, well I've been cleaning up stuff, as you can see, starting on this. I've been cleaning out here. It's all very well cleaned out where the points are and everything. Very nice. Everything's in pretty good shape. So you got the rest of the resin and everything under there. And I filed up the points, cleaned up the contacts a bit. And actually this thing looks pretty good in reality. It's in pretty good shape now. Actually, I even checked the capacitor, and it's actually good as well. So everything's good to this far, except for this poor coil. When I started digging, I found that the contact was this thing here, and the end was a little, you can see it's terrible. But anyways, the end was broken off inside, and this was just spinning around through the plastic. So if you push down on it, I could get contact. So I thought if I dug underneath it, which I did, I'd find the wire, and I did. The wire's right there, a little piece of it. So now I've taken this little contact here, put a little bit of solder on it. Now I'm going to glue it in position there temporarily. Drop a bit of solder on that, and I'm going to epoxy seal this hole, and it should be good to go after that. I'll show you, this is the way it looks before I start. I'll show you after I've glued it in place. I'll show you a little solder, and then show you what it looks like after I'm done. Anyways, okay, we'll cut back to this later. This here, I'm going to do a little bit of solder on the tip of here. See if I can get some solder on this on the wire. See here, the wire's right in here. It's nice to put a little blob of solder on there. And then I'm waiting for this glue to dry. Okay, let's get soldering iron. Over like this. It's a pain. Okay, that's the solder that in there. And if I let this harden up, after a while this will be ready, and we can put some epoxy over the hole and seal it back up. And this should be ready to go. Oh, I still have some solder wire on the back here. This one broke off right here, so I will make that up next, and we'll get this thing so it'll work. Okay, we'll move back later. Okay, so I'll take this. Fill this in here like this. A couple of days ago, I took the magneto in from here because it had some issues. If the contact didn't show through the secondary side, but if I pushed on the one contact, it would make and show me that I had about 9,000 ohms across, which sounded about right. So I figured that the wire had probably broken off just on the surface. So I opened up I opened up magneto just underneath it, found the wire, and then soldered another terminal in. So I wanted to see if it worked, but I was worried about it because I'm worried about this magneto magnet here on the flywheel, because it's not very strong. And I was very surprised at how weak it was. So I didn't think it would work. So yesterday, I decided to come out here, and since I couldn't find my wires that I took off for some reason. I don't know where I put them. Anyways, I put that in there, and I decided to see if I could feel any kind of a spark from it, even with a weak magnet. So I hooked it up, put it down here with a little wire in it, and pulled that, and literally almost blew my hand off the side of the thing, because it just gave a tremendous wallop. Not what I was expecting at all. So I thought, well, what the hey, why don't I try it with a spark plug, see if it will actually spark the spark. So I pulled it and it sparked the spark plug. So I said, okay, let's see if it goes. But I don't have 2 spark plug wires, and I've grounded out this one to the side here just so I could have a full circuit. So I grounded one side of the coil. I said, well, I only got 1 spark plug, so I said I'd try it. So I tried it, and sure enough, it ran on 1 cylinder. So last night I tried it on 2 cylinders, and it seemed to work. So I just rigged this up. This is actually a modern wire with a carbon core on it. Supposedly won't work, and it's just stuck in there, and the end is actually touching the contact. That's why it's there, because it's held in. I've wedged it with a little piece of copper wire here, so it can't come back out. And that's what's going to run on the cylinder. It'll work. I don't think it will work very well in the water, but it'll work for what we're doing today. And all I'm doing for the carburetor is I haven't even touched the carburetor. I just put took the cap off of the float bowl and just filled the float bowl from a little cup, and then trying to start it. So it doesn't run very well. It's only for a few seconds, and it just would show that it works. Nobody was more surprised than me when this thing actually fired up. I could not believe it, because literally I've done nothing to it other than repair the damage in the unit. So we'll see if it'll work right here. I'll just give it a little bowl. I'm just going to pour some gas into the float bowl. There we go. And I'll just put it on here, and we'll see if we can get it to start. I'm only going to run it for a second or two. I have no water. It's got no coolant in it, so it's only just to show that it works, which is a surprising thing for something that's this old. And I mean, that magneto is very, very weak. I don't know how it's running, but let's see if it'll go today. It doesn't seem to be doing like it was before. Maybe it does need a new, although it tested fairly good, maybe the what do you call it? The condenser is no good, and my points have got dirty again. We'll see. Easy way to tell. Oh, see, this spark leak keeps popping off because it's so old and crap, so that also makes it not run. Okay. See? Not too bad. 1928, and literally this is the same spark plugs I got it with. The only thing I did was repair some minor damage to the ignition coil. Not too bad, not too bad at all. This is the history of haywire. I'll show you what I got done here. So that's amazing. Runs good, everything's spinning, there's no rattles. I think it's a pretty good motor. Well, come around, here's what I mean about haywire. Look there. See, that's just stuck in there. Literally, there's nothing hooked up in there other than that. Look, I can pull this out. There you go, that's what's stuck in there. Okay? It's just wedged in there. This one is folded around properly. And I'm like, literally, there's gas sort of dripping out of the bottom, but that's all I did was do that. It's not too bad. So now we have to start, I'll take the carb off next, but I'm going to show you a video of the system. It's going to be very nice. Beautiful old engine. We'll get her all buffed up so she looks kind of nice and give her a nice coat of paint and make this one work nice. Now the other thing that's weird is down here, if you look, this is set up. So theoretically when you turn it, and it's around backwards, you would be able to back up. So the motor won't kick up like this. Well, this is literally as if we're on the back of the motor looking, so I reversed. But this will pick up. It shouldn't. So I'm wondering how they got this thing totally reversed. We'll have to figure this out because there's no way to work. You can see here, this latch here catches in on a piece back in here and stops this from being able to pull out. But it hooks on this lip, right? That comes around, hooks on this lip, and then the motor won't tip. If I turn this around, I think it was just clear there, yeah. I turn this around like this. See, now I can't pull it up. But you see, that wouldn't work like that, you see, because now it's driving forward, so it literally would be pushing back in, not trying to pull it up. So this is the dilemma. I have to figure out how that comes apart and see how somebody could have got it on backwards. Because literally, that's what it is. It's on backwards. Anyways, we'll do this another visit with this little terrible dent in the back here. Gotta figure out how to get that in. Maybe just have to find another tank. But not too bad.